Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today is not a very good day for Trion Worlds, or it was a couple days ago. At this point, I know I'm a couple days late, but I wanted to formulate my opinions and kind of try to understand why this happened in a little bit more detail than going straight off whim. So I gave myself a day to kind of sit back and think about all of this. But anyways, let's get right into it. I'm going to talk about all of the news and the facts first, and then I'll give my opinion after. So like I said, not a very good day for Trion Worlds. A couple days ago, they released this statement, and not a bunch of news articles came out. Trion Worlds acquisition announcement. Now, this is from Fasty. They have their own community managers for all the games, Rift, Defiance. All the community managers have posted the same thing on every single one of Trion Worlds games forums, to the general forums and the news and stuff like that, and it says the same thing for all of them. Greetings, we can confirm that there has been a transaction involving Trion Worlds and its games. While many of the names and faces you've come to know in our studios will remain on through this transition, others will not be making the journey. To those who are leaving us, we are forever grateful for your incredible work and contributions over the years. So yes, real quick, just a button, Trion Worlds is no longer a company, pretty much. They did keep around a few members, a few of their employees to stick around and see the projects continue on, but a majority, we'll go into this in a minute here, but a majority of Trion Worlds is no longer existing. It was bought out by a company named Gamigo. Once again, we'll go into that in a little bit. I don't want to go too off track. I want to kind of go in order, but I do want to explain it a little bit more in detail in case people aren't following along. Trion Worlds is actually just basically not a company anymore. So we'd like to assure our communities that the games will continue on in capable hands moving forward, as everyone involved is aiming to make this transition as smooth as possible for you. We will have more information to reveal as soon as we possibly can. From the bottom of all our hearts, we thank you for your time and dedication to our games and hope that you've enjoyed the experience as much as we have. From spending time with you in-game, to seeing you at conventions, to talking to you on live streams and forums, it's been our pleasure to be a part of this exceptional community with you since our first launch more than 7 years ago. And that, I believe, was either Rift or Defiance. I can't remember which one came first, to be honest. But they came out about the same time. Please know that you have our deepest gratitude. As for our games, we hope you continue to enjoy playing them far into the future. And so do all of we. This is very, very scary news. Like I said, Trion is no more. Trion is not a thing anymore. They don't make games anymore. They were bought out. A few of their employees are under the banner of Gamigo now. But Trion Worlds is no longer a thing, which is really, really weird. Doesn't it feel weird? Because, we've been covering this game for so long. I personally have been playing Trove ever since it came out in alpha 5 years ago. I have a item in-game that shows that I've been playing the game since December of 2013. That's more than almost any other. I only know a couple other people that have items from that long ago. So to go from there, just barely 5 years ago, to 3 years ago when the game came out on Steam, and we all, me, Scythe, Axeman, Faffy, we all started, this became our job. And I know I haven't really been over here on YouTube, but I've still been playing the game for a year over on Twitch. Twitch has basically became my main place to create content, just because we're the top Trove streamer over there. We're not really the top Trove YouTuber over here, so it made sense to, stay over there. But I've still been playing the game, even though I haven't been uploading videos to you guys. And it's just weird, and I know these people. I know the devs. I know all the community members, or the community managers and stuff like that. They've been treating me so nicely over the past 6 months. We've been featured on the main website. We've been getting hosts from them. They've given me thousands upon thousands of viewers. When Geode came, when every single big patch comes out, they always host me and promote me, and it's been crazy over on Twitch over the past 6 months to a year. And that's all thanks to Trion. They've helped me grow crazily, especially I know these people by name. It's so weird how they're just no longer a company. Like I said, I don't want to interject my opinions too much at this point. I kind of want to just go over everything really quick. I just wanted to provide a little bit more context on how this affects me and stuff like that. So I'm sorry if I went on a tiny rant real quick, I'll be going on a bigger rant after, obviously, when I give my actual opinions about everything and why I think this happened and all that stuff. So let's just keep moving on. Let's go to who acquired Trion, and that was Gamigo. I think I've been saying Gamigo, but it's Gamigo. There's no N. And from what I understand, it is a German-based company that acquires free-to-play games that, obviously they want under their banner. And looking at their games, I know a few of these games because they have been on Steam before, and you guys know me, or if you visit my Twitch channel, you know me. I play almost basically every free-to-play game there is out there because I like having, a very large range of opinions about games and stuff like that, so that way I can accurately judge things better. But all these games that Gamigo has under their website, I used to know these games on Steam. There was one, Dragon's Prophet. I don't see it right here anymore, but Dragon's Prophet was on Gamigo's list, which means they own Dragon's Prophet. And Dragon's Prophet, if you guys don't know what that game is, it wasn't a very popular free-to-play game, but it was a free-to-play game that came out on Steam a couple years ago, and then it got bought out by a company. Surprise, surprise, Gamigo. That's kind of weird and not ironic, but it's kind of weird that that is a thing, or it's the same company from a game that I reviewed years ago, Dragon's Prophet, and after it was acquired, the reviews tanked like crazy. It was super pay to win. I know The Rats is on Steam. I don't have any experience with The Rats personally, but I know that's on Steam. We could probably take a look at those reviews as well. Heroes and Puzzles, that's probably one of their most reputable games if I had to look at this list and pick one out. Heroes and Puzzles, probably the most reputable one. I don't know if that has negative reviews or anything like that. But looking at their website, and I know Gamigo, these are going to be the guys controlling Trove, and these are going to be the guys that I have to get good with if I want to continue, talking to their community managers. I don't even know if they have community managers or anything like that. Like, I don't know anything about this company. But hopefully they can introduce themselves to us this Friday or whenever they feel comfortable, whenever there's a live stream. Hopefully there's still live streams. Trion Worlds is no longer a thing, so there's not going to be Trion Worlds live streams. It's going to be Gamigo live streams, I think. I don't know. I don't know how this is all going to work. It's so weird. But, yeah, like, I know these are the guys that I need to get good with, but looking at this list, it is not looking good. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. Other people are seeming way more positive, but in my mind, maybe I'm just way more cynical. This is not looking good in terms of the acquisition. And then getting into it, another reason why I think this is not a good thing personally is we have articles coming out. Now, you can look up anyone. Like, I just clicked GameStops or GameSpots. There's like 4 big articles, 4 like reputable companies that are covering this. Let's just pause that. But they all say the same thing. Doesn't matter which one you click. That's basically what I'm getting at. I clicked GameSpots. I clicked the others. They all say the same thing. So let's read it. So, yet another video game studio has suffered significant layoffs. Trion Worlds, the studio behind, the games we already know, has reportedly cut more than 150 jobs. Now, this is not consistent with wordings just down here, which is really weird because it's literally 2 paragraphs away, and it already is inconsistent in its its data. So take this with a grain of salt. They don't know. Obviously, they contradict themselves. So nobody really knows at this point, once again, until we get an official statement past what we got on the websites or on the forums. But it's just a lot of jobs were lost. That's all we got to know. A lot of jobs were lost in the acquisition by a German free-to-play company, Gamigo. The statement came out. There has been a transaction. We already read all that, and we already read all that. That's all the statement from Fasty and all the other community managers. A source told Gamasutra that Trion Worlds had more than 200 people on staff across its offices in California and Texas, but after the layoffs, only 25 people are staying with the company. This is mass layoffs right here. This is why I think this is not a good sign. If it was just an acquisition, like, hey, we like your game. We don't think you're properly running it. Let's buy it and let's see if we can run it better and make a better profit than you guys. It wasn't just that. They didn't just buy like Trove or just buy like Arcade like Trion Worlds did. Trion Worlds bought the rights to publish Arcade in the Western audiences. It was nothing like that. They bought the company and then laid off almost everybody. That's not a good sign. Like, that's already like huge red flags right there, that they had to lay off people. Now, again, I'm going to give my opinions on why I think this all happened in a minute, but let's go over this because I did see Scythe, like, I don't really like name dropping too much, but I did see, like, Scythe was just making up so much stuff around, like, a bunch of rumors and stuff, and saying this is not a big deal to the games, like, the gaming industry and all that stuff. So I just want to point this out for him real quick. Like, it doesn't matter if you agree with Trion or not. This is the gaming industry. Trion is just the latest video game studio to suffer serious layoffs. In September alone, more than 500 people lost their jobs due to the closure or significant staffing reductions at Carbine, 50 layoffs. Capcom Vancouver, 158 layoffs. Telltale, 250 layoffs. Big Fish Games, 75 layoffs. With Trion's 175 question mark, let's put a question mark right there because we don't know. Obviously, they contradicted themselves already. With Trion's 175, that puts it at the second highest. Telltale was a AAA company or AA. People are weird about that. They were a AAA company and they laid off 250 people. Trion laid off 175 question mark people. That is the second biggest layoff in the gaming industry in the past 2 months. Just 2 months. And we've lost 600 devs. That is crazy. This year alone, we've probably lost around 1,000 in total. This is not just Trion. You can also go to a very good gaming podcast, one of my favorite, called Dropped Frames. They had a developer on named Rami just last week, and he tells you guys this, or he explains this in detail. Not you guys, but this is more towards Scythe. He explains this in detail, and he is a very well-received, a very popular developer. He's kind of like a rock star in the developer world, kind of in the indie world. He makes a lot of huge indie games. He is saying the same thing. He's saying that the gaming industry is not in a good state, that even AAA games are not making profits. They are cutting studios like crazy. Anthem's coming out in a few months. If that doesn't do well, BioWare is no longer going to be a company. They're no longer going to be a development studio. So it was kind of infuriating to hear someone of his size just make things up and try to downplay things just because it's Trion. He's just doing it for the sake of outraging people because I guess it makes him cooler in his eyes. I don't know. He used to not be that way, actually. It's kind of weird and hypocritical. But I just want to point that out. I'm not trying to go too hard on him, but like he tried to kick Trion while they were down and just made up a bunch of stuff. And it kind of infuriated me a little bit how someone of his size can just make things up and think it's okay. But not to try to spread drama. You know, that's already been a thing. Let's just do that. Just putting my opinions out there on everything around the subject. Okay, so now let's go over my opinions on why I think this happened. So I think it's pretty simple, to be honest. Like I said, I don't know why people are making things up. The person I was just talking about, I don't know why people are making things up. Like, it's very, very simple. Trion obviously was overstaffed. They were almost a AAA company. They're kind of like AA with free-to-play games, or maybe even AAA with free-to-play games. But they were a huge company. They are one of the biggest companies in the gaming industry. They had very, I wouldn't say well-received games, but they had all their games were in the spotlight. Surprisingly, except for Trove, which is weird because Trove was their biggest game they've ever made. It was their most popular game they ever made, which is weird because that game never got any spotlight. But all their other games, Rift, Defiance, they got massive spotlights, you know, Arcade. But they were always tainted with pay to win. And Trion Worlds did not have a very good reputation with them. People would see Trion Worlds games and they would automatically know it was pay to win. This happened with many Trion Worlds games that they even had to shut down, including Devilian. If you guys remember that game, Devilian was a game that wasn't owned by Trion, but when they brought it out to the West, they made it super pay to win. Same thing with Arcade. Arcade was dead day one because of pay to win. So it was just obvious that their games weren't doing well. They were obviously way overstaffed for how popular their games were. Their games were not very popular. They were spending high budget, like Rift and Defiance. Those are pretty high budget games, truth be told. Arcade, decently high budget game for not very high profits. At least that's what I would think. I don't know their profits. I don't have their quarterly results or anything like that. But I would think that they weren't making enough to pay all of these people. And they just kept going down this road, down this like pay-to-win road with all their games, and that's what it was. It wasn't this lie that they were banning people and that's why their company shut down, because they banned people for giving criticism. Show me an email, like give me an email where it says you have been banned for constructive criticism. That's never happened. That's a lie. That is just a straight lie. That is not why the company was shut down. The company was shut down very simply because they weren't profitable anymore. Again, I don't have their quarterly results, but it's just, you can tell that their games are super pay to win and people did not play them. Rift has like hundreds of players. It doesn't have 1,000 players playing concurrently. That is not a game that you should keep up and actively update and, you know, spend all this money onto creating expansions. Rift has had so many expansions with hundreds of players, whereas Trove has only received like 3 expansions with tens of thousands of players. It's so weird. But yeah, they had too high, at least in my opinion. Again, I don't have the facts, so I'm stating this as an opinion. I feel like they just had too high budget, too many staff for just not enough returns. Once again, Trove being their most popular game, not even breaking the top 100 on Steam that much anymore. It is below 3,000 concurrent players on Steam. It is very, very, very much dying out. So that's what I take on it. I don't need to, like, there doesn't need to be a billion reasons with all these, like, oh, they were banning people. Oh, they didn't take criticism. I would argue against that because I actually talked to the devs, and even people like Chronozilla, a very prominent person in the community, while not being a YouTuber or a streamer or anything like that, you know, we did talk to the devs and we did give a lot of feedback, and they changed a ton of stuff based on that feedback. Again, I do not know why Scythe just started making up so much rumors and misinformation and stuff like that. And I don't want to start any drama, but it is very infuriating to see someone just make things up when hundreds of people just lost their jobs. And it's very simple why they lost their jobs. You don't need to try to like further any agenda. It's very obvious why they all lost their jobs, right? Their games weren't doing well. So that's my opinion on, I guess, everything, not just the subject, but also other people's opinions on the subject. But hey, I don't really mind the quote-unquote drama. It's just my response to other people's words, so it doesn't bother me if people have a response to my words. It's all good. That's what discussions are for, right? So yeah, that's my opinions about everything. Hopefully Gamigo does a good job. You know, it doesn't look good in my opinion. Like I said, I don't see why they would lay off almost the entire company before making the acquisition. Obviously, Trion Worlds are the people that laid off everybody, not Gamigo. I don't know if I was clear on that earlier. I'm sorry. I went on a little rant. Like I said, I told you guys I was going to go on a little rant. But Gamigo wasn't the people that laid off everybody. It was Trion, but Trion probably laid off all the people so that way Gamigo would agree to acquire Trion Worlds. They probably did not want to acquire 200 staff. They obviously saw that was way too many people. So they were like, maybe if you get rid of, you know, 3/4 of your company, we will then buy your company. So I did want to clarify that really quick. I'm just thinking of other things I might have been a little bit unclear on because, like I said, I don't want to spread information. This is a very serious subject, not something you want to be just making things up over. This is extremely serious. This is the second biggest layoff of the entire year in the gaming industry. So, yeah, I just want to make sure that I have everything clear. But if I did miss anything, if there's any more news, you guys can leave it in the comments below. Friday, hopefully they do a live stream. Maybe they'll do a goodbye live stream as Trion, or maybe they'll explain things. I don't know how anything's going to work anymore because it's almost as if Trion is not a company anymore. And that's just everything that I know, and that is all of my opinions. I would like to know your guys's down below, and I will see you guys next time.